I don't know. We've always kind of been that way ever since Optic. We've when we had Dardoch on our team, especially, we're flexing things all over the place. We're picking Pyke. It could go top. It could go mid. It can go jungle. It can go bot. We're really, a family dollar G2. But we just got the players that like to try new things. It's not anything in specific. It just happens to be that way, and I know Koobs encourages trying out new stuff too, so everyone is on board, really.
Thank you for joining us for Game 3, where Immortals will be squaring off against Cloud9. You down with that? A $50 G2?
I'm absolutely down with that. I personally love playing and watching teams that experiment with whatever they want because it just feels like a fun environment.
Let's see if we can get up to a $100 store. We'll see. Let's take a look at the starting roster. Selecting on the blue side, it is Cloud9. That means top lane is Fudge. Jungling is Nori. Mid lane is Palafox. Bot lane is King. Support, Diamond, and Coach Rainover.
And facing them on the red side, it's Dollar Store G2. Sorry, it's Immortals Academy. Alrim in the top lane. Potluck in the jungle. Insanity on mid. Apollo on bot. Gate on support. And their coach, Koop.
Now I'm ready to see all this flexing around. So looking at that left side of your screen as well, that Mandalorian definitely been flying under your radar as a top laner this season. He does show well, but I think it's easily forgotten that he is a reason a lot of these games are going the way.
I mean, he's been playing Urgot, Tristan the top, Nocturne top. He's doing whatever he wants, and those are picks that can be flexed as well. So it actually does create a bit of a confusing dynamic to play against, and I think it's part of the reason why this team is 6-3. When you start to throw a wrench in your opponent's plans from the draft, it can just throw a curveball at your opponent that knocks them out, and they can't really regain their mental focus because they're getting to play champions that are fun. It's a kind of a odd thing to say, but players, you kind of do feel jealous if you're a jungler that gets to play whatever you want, and then the other team, you're in Sejuani duty. I'm like, come on, man.
You've actually hear some player. I mean, they have a dream job. Don't get me wrong, but you'll talk to them sometimes. And you're like, yeah, I think I might just have to play Misfortune again today. And well, that's fun.
Yeah.
It's like, you have to realize they're doing that for their job over and over again. And yeah, winning is great, but that could be boring. It's those little things that are really interesting to think about.
The other guy gets to play Ezreal all the time.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, back to Misfortune.
Oh, that's funny. When I'm climbing, I was like, that's all I need. Just give me that. My friend's like, I'm going to play this game. I was like, no, we're winning on this. Just don't switch. Don't switch. Please don't switch. As well as this man on your screen playing super well in the mid lane for the team. Being able to bring out Ornn, Mordekaiser, Zoe, Kled, Syndra, Victor, Nautilus. So big. And I think he brings a lot more than that. And it's just the kind of pressure he can put on the map as well.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that Insanity was coming off Team Liquid Academy last year, I think gives him a bit of a pedigree for what we can expect out of him in the mid lane, and I think it's a good pickup for this team so far, and we get to see how he stacks up against the former, or I guess his counterpart in the LCS main team. Obviously, very different leagues, but
with that caveat, there's still the performance of 5 weeks. Absolutely doing well. I think there's more agency he kind of demands in the game. You'll see him going forward more, having more solo kills, the type of thing. So we'll see if that kind of comes out as well in this game. I've been really big on Insanity throughout this first part of the spring split. So maybe his second half pops off a bit more. Cloud9's been looking good at 5-4 right now as we go across their team a bit. Diamond on your screen. He's been throwing a few different things, but mostly the Thresh and Nautilus lately with a bit of that Leona engage is what the bot lane has felt comfortable on here.
Diamond is the only player remaining on the Academy roster from last year. Hell, even the coach is different now that Rainover is
Very
here.
true.
So he had a bit of a tumultuous, whatever the word is.
Tumultuous?
Cloudy. Yes, tumultuous. That kind of word was what happened to him. I was talking to him during scouting grounds where he didn't really know what was happening to the team. He actually just found out one day, hey, everyone's gone. You just show up to work one day, oh, my team, nope. Literally everyone that you know that you have built a bond with is now on another roster, and you are the sole survivor. It's like waking up in a zombie movie, and you're the last remaining human.
That would be cool until you realize you're the last remaining human. Because then your adventure is to find someone.
Yeah.
You're like, yes. And then when you realize, you're like, all right, this is never mind. I don't want to be a part of this movie anymore. Thresh, Rek'Sai, banned out on Immortals side. Thank you, banned out on Cloud9 side, along with Seth. they might get the Zyra Khan in, or the Vestians left in our League of Legends lore.
Yeah, what an interesting set of bans. Usually we see red side be taking these, so Cloud9 must be thinking that there's a higher priority for them. It looks like every single team is thinking about the draft differently. My suspicions go to Ornn, but it gets banned as well.
First pick, TK.
Huh.
So the Elise is up. Pretty much any jungler is up. Potluck loves the Lee Sin lately.
I like the Gragas here. I think Gragas is great against Tahm Kench, and I also wouldn't mind potentially a Varus to deny the Varus Tahm Kench.
Has the Elise.
Varus is a really powerful AD, yet we have seen today Misfortune has a 100% win rate. Oh, we almost forgot about Senna.
Senna's going to get locked in here for Apollo. I wonder what they're going to give Gate then. We've seen them rock some different lanes. Gate is probably one of the most versatile players. He's been, what, a jungler, a mid laner, a bot laner.
It's odd, though, because Gate can play it, and maybe Apollo plays it as well, because it was Sven and Vulcan on the LCS where they were experimenting with the Tahm Kench Senna lane, yet it was the Tahm Kench that was playing more of the farm role while
he farmed up
getting
Dead Man's Plate, and then they kind of just run amok. It was
Great
awesome. There's the Gragas you were looking for. They will lock that in on the side of Immortals. It's good to be always able to bounce Tahm Kench away from his targets. You can kind of facilitate that with the Gragas cast.
Or bounce him in when he has devoured somebody. So you get that
two for one, man.
And max value.
God, breaking out the coupon book today. What do we got? Jarvan. And he's in. The flag and drags will be apparent this game. We'll see if that man of Demacia can put an impact on where he wants. Liking the Ezreal pickups lately. A lot of people are just loving that hit of attack speed.
He's really strong right now. I keep playing him. If I'm winning on Ezreal, you too can win on Ezreal. If you're at home, you go the attack speed build, well, attack speed. You go lethal tempo, which with the attack
basically
speed
build
buff
the same
that he received, you actually not an entire Q-bot. You can actually walk in and deal a lot of damage to tanks that before you were not denting.
It's fun to have him have that back because it was a bit of his early kit, right? Essence Flux, depending on how many people you would spread across, would give you attack speed.
Interesting ban, Lucian.
Oh yeah, good.
So this is Immortals thinking that Palafox or Fudge will be playing that Lucian, although Fudge does not strike me as a Lucian player, as he has a lot of Ornn, a lot of Gangplank. So
True. Just the tankies.
Rarely do you see a player that has an affinity for tanks,
Along with that,
also loves to play ADs in the top lane.
Rainover is chatting it out. He's just shaking a Nori's chair. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, this is actually Rainover's first big gig as a coach, right? After being kind of a assistant coach in the back lines, now he gets to command the team on his own, and we get to see what Cloud9 delivers, and I think a lot of it will be credited to the coaching staff now that West Rice is not here.
Yeah, very true. Mordekaiser and Pantheon get taken out along with Yasuo because they don't want the Yasuo-Gragas combination coming in. There's a lot of damage already behind that with an Ezreal and Senna if those are built up. So what's that bot lane? Can you still get a Galio bot lane? Would be pretty nice maybe with the Senna.
I mean, I think
you get pushed out.
Initially, I'm thinking it's Ezreal Senna, but I also think Immortals could flex the Ezreal, and they're holding on to it until the very end. You could play Ezreal middle if you really want to, as the Urgot gets locked in for top, and I think that's what they're doing here.
Urgot for Alorum, 8-0-3 in his debut game this spring split, or I guess debut of the spring. He's been around for a long time. But 8-0-3, so that's a menacing God up there. See what he can do to whatever Fudge has. We'll find that pick out right now as Syndra is blind picked.
I love the Syndra pick here. She has quietly replaced Orianna as one of the best blind that you can go for right now. More aggressive early game, better setup for your team. Not as strong in the late game, but you know the games aren't decided at that stage at the moment. They're more about your ability to influence the mid game and secure those dragons.
Final pick, quick.
Holy Bear.
Sick. We did see Licorice play Vladimir.
I think it's... You know what? I have no idea, man. I think it could be Ezreal mid, but it looks like it's just going to be the support Senna with the Ezreal bottom.
All right, so it is. I mean, Apollo's Ezreal is something we know for a very long time to be very strong. So you have to actually get some of these TP switches up too, because if not, very global compositions coming in here from both teams, pretty much.
Yeah, and both have a lot of tools to engage. So it's not a game where we're going to see fights that happen without kills going either way. It's definitely going to be a bloody mid-game here, because pretty much every champion just wants to constantly fight. You don't have anybody that wants to sit back and farm. Everybody wants to get in there.
As we just look at more mid laners, it is mid lane Monday, so why not go over a few more things? Palafox, Syndra, 1 play on that in week 2, 8-1-4 against FlyQuest. Looking at Diana, Insanity, has not played it yet. So he's going to be testing that out now on the Rift. We've heard that before. The players always play these champions in regular play and solo queue, but being able to do the combos and do everything exactly on stage as you need to becomes a whole different beast.
Oh yeah, and it gets even more frustrating when you know what needs to be done, yet you see yourself in real time not do it. You're like, I just did it in practice.
One of us.
What just happened?
One of
It's
us.
the stress, it's the tilt, it's whatever combination of factors makes playing on stage a different beast than practicing at home.
Yep, Conqueror Diana going into that mid lane. He still did keep teleport for himself, so it looks to maybe play a bit aggressive and then continue his lane. It is going to be a teleport port for Palafox as well. Not too many aggressive summoners coming out around the Rift, so we'll look to play for the map and play for the jungle ganks coming in when those do happen. Interested to see where they start.
Yeah, and I'm really interested to see what happens with the Senna Ezreal lane, because we saw yesterday in the LCS, we kind of got a bit of a crash course as to how this Senna support / AD really works. And the itemization that they go for should tell us a story, but it should also be the sickle for her. And it is.
Dun, dun, dun. Stopwatches on a few members here and there. And it's going to be Corrupting Potion for Palafox, expecting to take a few Crescent Slashes and from Insanity.
Oh, look at that light show.
Nice.
It's the shotgun needs.
It's so funny.
I just love that somebody out there thought, what should we do for Urgot? Let's give him shotgun
Put a
knees.
good gun on each one of his legs. It's cool. We just need a laser shark next, and we're okay. Fizz needs a laser.
I'd be okay with that.
Or Fizz's shark needs a laser. God.
That sounds like that mode with all the bots, the mayhem bots. I forget the
Oh,
Doom
Doom
bots.
bots.
Yeah. So you have Vel'Koz ult that comes out of Fizzle.
Oh, God, that's gross. Oh, early aggro on the bot side. Ignite immediately. They're on the gate in the alcove. He's going to have to force the flash. Diamond keeps going. King's going to have the kill on this one. They're not going to be able to get out alive, and that is a 1 kill going over the side of C9 in the form of First Blood.
Yeah, you can't walk up to Tom Can. She will mess you up, and the early game for Senna Ezreal is not their strength.
Gross.
It's poking, it's getting your opponents whittled down, and this is a fantastic start for Cloud9, as now this bottom lane has no summoners, and you've got Inori who's pathing to the bot lane. It couldn't be more perfect.
Oh, so sticky right when he gets on you.
So I actually think the Guardian proc movement speed is the initial thing that lets Diamond get in range of the Senna. It's just such an odd thing to consider when you're Senna. Like, oh, I forgot that this was a thing that existed that could decide the lane.
Inori wants to punish the flashes down, so he immediately comes into the lane. I think that sweeper might have been slightly too late, but Gate still actually in a very scary spot for that second. Moves himself back to safety. So right off the bat, I said there wasn't going to be too much aggression unless we saw junglers, and I am proven wrong by the bot side. Wave's not pushed in too much, but Inori's still going to try to get a bit of vision here onto Immortals jungle as the top lane goes back and forth. Shotgun knees coming out appropriately, but Fudge is able to hit a few Qs that matter, and now Alorum not looking like he's in a good spot, but they're both down to 100 HP before they turn away from the fight. Wow.
They were both just one more
Yeah,
auto
one
from
auto
dying,
each.
and no one bought into it. No, it's a game of chicken, and the cars just crashed.
Somebody flashes on that. Nobody flashed, you're right. slam right into each other. They're going to have to do it again, though. They hit reverse and go in one more time. Alorm now has 100 HP advantage, but he has to be careful. That Harbinger strike on Fudge is passive for Aatrox. Will give you a bit of HP back, does up your damage a bit. And you just notice that as Aatrox puts his sword horizontal in lane.
Yeah, that's percent HP too.
You gotta be careful, man. It's a big womp, big wallop of damage. Teleport in. It's actually a good spot for Fudge here on the lane. If he can get this pushed in, maybe he can get Alorm to have to sacrifice a few before he goes back on the next wave reset.
He's trying to crash it, and now in the mini-map you see that the Gragas is trying to make it to the top lane, see if he can gank the Aatrox, but with Predators, he'll have to likely look for an angle through the lane. I think that's your best bet, as Alorm can just flip Fudge back into it.
Big minion wave for them to mess around in right now. So it looks like Fudge is going to let that one push. His bot lane returns in from the side of C9. King and Diamond head back. It's going to be a Vamp Scepter to start off for King, so they can take a bit of this Ezreal and send a poke, which will eventually come through.
Oh yeah, he's laned against this before. If you're not playing sustain against Ezreal Senna, well, you're probably either looking for an all-in or you're going to be having to base.
It's like one of those things you know that's going to happen. Like when Sona used to be in lane, you know you're taking damage at some point in lane, no matter what. She's going to power chord your ass. Otherwise, you buy sustain and you keep yourself alive. Oh. A little lockdown, nothing they want to go hard on just yet with a WQ from Apollo.
Ooh, but with this wave pushing back, Cloud9 could go for a gank. Instead, they'll use that pressure for the early dragon at 5 minutes and 15 seconds. It's a fresh one.
Probably still warm.
Still icky. Just got hatched.
Clean it up. Nice done. Ocean. This will be the first game of the night. We do not get an Ocean Soul on the Academy run of all 3 games. Interesting. So it's going to be Infernal or Mountain.
What are the odds that you get 3 games in a row with the same 3rd dragon being Ocean?
Good? Bad? The amount of...
Got to be pretty low.
That's freak.
Yeah, we're going to need a calculator for this one.
God, he is. Instant pushes in the lanes here to make sure they have a bit of priority. Hail of arrows always over the top. This gate stays in front. Looking at the clip of CS around the map, the only real discrepancy is there in mid lane of Palafox versus Insanity at 5:44. Almost gets King on the lockdown, and Nori's able to walk in here on the pink ward. Apollo's just in range for the flag and drag, but too close to the turret for an arcane shift.
And if they've timed summoners, they'd also know that Gate and Apollo have theirs back already, so there's not a chance of getting a very easy kill. You'd actually have to really work for it. So maybe a dive would be in order here. Dives are almost always the preferred choice of a gank anyways, because you're denying minions with it.
Where does the Laura go? Safe. Not going anywhere. He's going to go back and buy. That should be an easy walk back to lane as his minion wave is crashing into Fudge's turret. 59-48 there, as Fudge should be able to clean up some good minions. They're actually calling for help in the jungle to make sure there's no invade coming in. So thinking Immortals is really trying to get under the skin just yet, but Cloud9 has some room to breathe here in the beginning. 1 kill in their name, along with that Cloud Drake, but no turrets to drop just yet. Only the 1 plate.
No turrets yet. This is the phase where I think Cloud9 is going to really start to accelerate, because there is a blue buff being handed over to Palafox, as Inori so graciously has donated his jungle camp. That should pressure mid lane to the point where Syndra can start to roam, or at least Diana cannot, and they'll use that pressure to get a dive somewhere or continue to get objectives. So this is a good time for Cloud9. Let's see just how much they can get from this.
Deep ward placed by Insanity there to make sure he can track anybody coming in and out of the jungle for scuttles or an invade. Seems like the junglers have, however, spotted each other's pathing at this point now, so we're going to see Alorm coming down. And it's a 2v2 Pressure from Palafox here in mid lane as Insanity has not moved, but they do have bot lane already moving up from the side of C9.
This is a big boy move here from Cloud9, going for the 8-minute Rift Herald rotation with the bottom lane, so really well timed with everybody being involved as Syndra and Aatrox also participated. So this is them again using that pressure to collect some objectives. We're gonna need to see this Rift Herald get some plates though, because just securing it and keeping it in your pocket, it's nothing more than catching Pokemon.
So it's a few games in a row we've actually seen, as you just kind of discussed, taking the Herald, but it's setting up as well for the Drake. The early Drake now sets up just 2 minutes after this, so if you did want to get the lane swap going, we saw it last time with 1 minute for the Drake coming up.
Yeah.
So it seems like teams have that 5-6 minute Drake. It'll come up, we get Rift Herald at 8 just a few minutes later, and they've been really cycling those 3 times.
Right, staggering the objectives to each other, and like you just said, if you use that Rift Herald now in a lane that is crucial for the Dragon setup, you can set them back and secure the next objective. So I'm looking for Inori to use this pretty soon. I think right now it might be a little bit too early, but nothing wrong with chilling in a brush and waiting for a gank once you're 6 on Jarvan. Ah, no one cleared that. They're gonna sweep it now, I bet. Diamond, yep, they find out, and now he's embarrassed.
It's the thing, it's like, why didn't they play different? I bet if you swept, we'll find out why. Obvious vision is obvious. As now that 45 seconds on to the Drake are coming up, and Inori will still be bot side for it. So time wasted, but time he needed to spend around this area anyways. Would have been nicer to come up with a kill. Insanity with that blue buff on his side now could probably put up a little bit of damage, but will not want to do so in the face of so many foes, and a Rift Herald now crashing into mid.
Nice.
First one used on mid.
Nice rotation there. Inori does not have
All
Black
of
and
them?
Drag, so they can't actually dive here. Okay, now you fall back into the Dragon.
Right.
Get some vision in there and secure the objective. This is looking really good. Cloud9, keep it up.
Yeah, because Potluck's already had to go back now, so it's going to be 1 second to Ocean. There's no support for Gate to even roam up. All the pressure is kind of just chaosed around as it's Immortals having to follow the role of Cloud9.
And there's no shame in that moment to actually having used the Tom Kench ultimate to get to the bottom lane again. And they actually won't get the Dragon, so sparing the life of the Ocean.
Wow.
It was the call. I think we were right on this one, Riv. That would have been a good time to do Dragon.
Yeah. Giving a little too much credit maybe to the other team and not knowing how quickly they backed. Potluck was just behind the turret, along there with Insanity, and it's kind of scary to get into a fight with Diana.
She's not scary yet, because she just got the row. It's starting to stack, and I think the fear might have just been Potluck being really strong with those runic echoes. But I think Apollo and Gate have shown us that they are trying to play as safe as possible and not want to get in a tough one.
They don't know. Palafox is stacking Orbs of Deception. Arcane Shift from Apollo. Abyssal Voyage just coming in. There's the shift. They're back to safety. Oh no, he stayed too long. It's going to be the heal from Gate, and not enough from Unleashed Power with the heal and flash coming through. So it's a Drake, and they are going to get the flash and heal out of Gate as Mountain takes over the Rift, creating a bit more terrain.
Yeah, they get more summoners out of the bottom lane, and that's going to put IMT's bot lane to play even more passive. A gank on top, but the Senna ultimate does not connect, and Aatrox lives another day.
Fudge is sitting there taking Polaroids. He's like, what are you guys trying to do on my lane? I'm just going to take a picture of this. Potluck's forced to blow the stopwatch, and he makes a 2v1 look easy on the top side. So way to absorb the pressure there, but also great for Immortals to say, yeah, we're losing stuff on the bottom. We have to activate on the other side of the map. Unfortunate they did not come up with something.
Yeah, they're losing everything in the bottom lane. And an interesting thing to point here is that Immortals went for 2 plays on the solo lanes. Diana basically chunked out Palafox and pushed her back, and then Potluck and Alarim to the top lane. I think if they combined those two to one lane, you would have been able to come up with a kill or even a turret into the top lane.
Right.
So you just needed more people for how tanky the Aatrox or Syndra are right now.
What are you waiting for, Diamond? Just a few more wards. He'll get himself out of base as he heads up now towards top lane as we get the map switched up with that bot turret being down.
Yeah, now Aatrox gets to defend the lane, and the gold is starting to look really good for Cloud9. They have gotten a ton of plates they've only lost 2, one in mid and one in top. So Immortals does not have a lot of gold to show for it from the laning phase.
Quite a bit of gold for Lorem there on the top side. 400 over his opponent, almost 5, right around 4. And everything else is basically even except for that bot side. The kill for King and all those plates have really catapulted him above his
Look at those
opponent.
pings. Question mark pings into the top lane. They don't know what's going on in the alcoves. They found the Urgot.
Oh, the Stain misses. So he cannot get the drop back on the Urgot ability, and King's gonna make that one out feeling pretty good. He sidestepped.
That's a play I'm starting to see a lot more, and I think it's one of the best plays you can do in this meta where a lot of teams are
lurking?
Yeah, where you just lurk in the alcove as either a bot laner or a top laner. It forces the enemy to have to check every single time, and when they don't, you can cash. Oh!
I thought he was gonna get, oh, he did get it. That feels bad. No potluck. Just on the last auto, he thought maybe Red would have burned it down before. It could have got a shot from Nori, but no go. You can see Nori's smite coming up right now.
That would have been the perfect time to emote.
Yeah, right.
Stabbing Penguin.
Sanity, last few cuts. Dashes in. Feels good to be able to do that without all down.
I really like the changes for Diana.
Yeah.
Feels like you can actually contribute to the game before level 6, which is something that you couldn't say about her before. Second Rift Herald here for Cloud9, so I think they'll continue to just use it into the bottom lane. So far, so good. Everybody else is holding their own, and they're quietly building a gold lead and generating map press from the turrets they're taking. So the pace, I think, is great.
Out of the middle of the pack teams are definitely giving each other a run for their money here. It could easily be 6 and 4 for both teams after this game if Immortals doesn't push themselves up to 7 and 3 off of victory here. We're only 15 minutes in though. Should still get another rift coming up soon, as I believe the first one was taken early enough.
So Jarvan is in the bot lane right now, and he can go bottom and try to take down the Urgot for a kill. But I actually think that this is a time where you should not be looking to take down the Urgot because you're not getting any gold out of it. Yes, he's overextended, but if you went to the top lane or to the mid, you could pop that Rift Herald, get a lot out of that.
Sweet back.
It kind of looks like the Project Pike skin, where he has the
that is
giant worm.
That's crazy. Rides it. It's actually a pretty sweet back too. Everybody resetting. You see all the players taking their drinks of water, resetting in their chairs. We're getting to that moment. First item buys are coming through. Everybody's feeling a bit more powerful. Secondary items are starting to be bought and purchased. And we're going to get a fight here coming in 20 seconds for this Mountain Drake. That's what changed the Rift, and that's what we're going to have to go for Soul. Palafox, low on mana, but enough to get an ult out here, so he's starting to set up some orbs. Everybody else looks pretty good to get into this fight as summoner spells up across the board that would be used to fight. Just Palafox's teleport is down.
And 4 stopwatches too, so the Rift Herald will be popped. This is the distraction for IMT, and now Cloud9 will either go for the dragon or for a play. Just getting a charge. Wait a minute!
Didn't get it! Oh no, that's gonna be hit. Diamond has the gray health right now, and I think he's gonna go down first. The stopwatches start to come out as the Lorem fights Fudge on the bottom side of the screen. And everybody walks out. No, Insanity goes down. He's got 32 seconds on the clock. And Rift Herald is going to get no damage towards the mid lane as it got taken out quite quickly from the team of Immortals. And they will still protect and still be able to fight for this Drake.
Yeah, it looks like Immortals just wanted the Rift Herald to never get a charge off and also committed to a fight alongside it too. Not sure if they saw Syndra base, but Cloud9 knows that their Syndra is not here, so they will have to give this up. And are we seeing Immortals first dragon? We absolutely are.
Yeah, there's 2 seconds for the teleport. Insanity can make it back to this one. He's going to be teleporting immediately right into the middle of the fight. So he's going to say, hey, check it out. I'm here. You want to still stay? Fudge does. And it looked like Nori almost wanted to as well. I do not know why Immortals kept going for the fight after that one, but it looks like Fudge is going to activate World Ender with 1 Q on. They get the mid push, and this is now Cloud9 taking a bit of map control if they don't go for the fight right away with mid turret here.
I think this is worth it for Cloud9. Yeah, you gave up that dragon, but you have complete control of the game. You still got the mid lane turret, a few kills with it too. So the soul point is delayed, but the victory continues to grow.
Yeah, I think it's easy to get baited into a fight, especially when you see a member like Fudge with so much damage behind everybody so far. So you're like, if we take everyone in front of us, we take them down. And I think they just kited gate real quick.
So I think the Aatrox is super scary, yet he doesn't actually have a completed item yet. He's gone with the cooldown reduction garage
now
build.
Phage, Caulfield's Kindled Gem. You're right.
So Urgot is significantly stronger than him right now.
Yeah. Able to get the Executioner's Calling and Shred coming in from the Black Cleaver. That's the garage sale build, as Captain Flowers would say.
Yeah.
Just taking a little bit of everything, but they didn't have a complete item there for you.
I love that because that was the garage sale build, and when you're really far behind as a jungler and you're just trying to build tank items, it's the welfare build where you're just trying to survive.
I mean, that feels great on Thorn,
for your
right?
Does it?
He loves pieces of items. Just build them all day in lane. Get that Sunfire first and you're good. Insanity doing what he can! The Devourer is the savior at Palafox's. Insanity gets himself taken down 0-2 and 0 for another one of our mid lane matchups as that whizzes on by in true shot barrage fashion to the 1-0-2 of Palafox coming up big on that Cinder as well. The King on that scoreboard at 3-0 and 1 from the early game aggression onto Gate and Apollo at level 1.
That was a lot of damage out of Diana. She almost took 1-for-1 in a 1v4. Makes you hopeful for what Immortals in the late game can be if these solo lanes continue to dominate the C9 solo lanes. It's about the bottom lane difference here, being able to roam everywhere and continue to pile objectives for Cloud9.
Grabbing one. One is progress. Let's see how this fight happens. So look at that. 2 orbs stacked up. Does he even grab the other one on ult? No. Just going to be a few for the ultimate.
One more auto would have done it.
Still strong play. Insanity knowing what he needs to do, it seems, on this Diana. Just caught out in a bad situation. Add a little bit more chaos to the fight, and I'm going to be real afraid of what he can put down.
I mean, I'm playing Diana tonight. After seeing this.
Yeah? What if you don't get filled into it? Good luck.
Oh, I will find a way. I'm everything but bot lane.
You're just like, hey, mid. Can I be mid, please?
No, I'll just pick the champion and put it into the role anyway. So I'll be like, oh, just gonna play this champion in the mid lane. Which I think is the Immortals game plan with a lot of the picks that they've gone for, already showing 2 mid-Ornn games, mid-Kled, and so forth. So getting happy with their picks.
Spices it up. See where they go from here. Piercing Arrow easily cleaning up these minions with some follow-up auto attacks. King is 202 to 168 on that bot side. Definitely hard to farm as Ezreal if you're just getting queued in all day and you're trying to do it under your turret with even more queues and hail of arrows coming at you. So great job in the aggression from King and Diamond to take down a bot lane like Apollo and Gate.
Yeah,
Really strong lane.
Tricky for the Ezreal when your support is even more likely to die than you. Like, typically you want your support to be really tough to kill, but the Senna is not, and neither is Palafox.
You'll see what happens when Palafox does not have a team to his name. He actually tries to kill Potluck there. He is a nuisance. He's trying hard to kill. There's a Q that's going to take him down. Nice Crescent Strike. Coming in from Insanity, and he gets his blue buff on that. Unless he already had it. He's been top, though, so.
I like that they let Insanity get the kill. A lot of times you'd see someone just get the kill already. Let's move on. And they recognize just how important this Diana is going to be if Immortals wants to win this game. 4,000 gold down, but still having an Ezreal that can pop off. Once the Mira Mana is completed and Trinity, his Qs will hurt like a truck.
Let's see where he's at. The cash money's 1,100, about 1,200 gold right now, so he is on his way there.
And Senna is at 57.
57?
Stacks, yes.
Nice. Good call.
Pretty soon she will have a little bit more range.
And it's just about 100 stacks until you'll see Apollo's Mirror Mana come out. So there is damage upgrade to be had in a bit here for Immortals' side as they can get there in the right position. If you have damage and you're in your base, it's a little too late, but here damage at a Drake fight could be enough. Remember, there's more terrain created in that pit, so they have a place to hide behind a bit of their wards and that vision. It's harder for Immortals to get in.
Whoa.
They're still going to try, though, and Sanity's going to be the first one to fight with that Diana to create the chaos we were talking about before. That's going to be Alarm going down immediately as we're still looking for those health bars, but it's Insanity that falls next. Gate's going to be taking shots from King here. I think he has a Hurricane finished up, and he is just absolutely tearing through members of Immortals. A follow-up flick from Diamond is going to make it stick, and he takes down Gate.
Oh, Immortals looked like they had a really sick engage. It was so flashy, Diana going in, but Apollo and Gate just could not get in there. Everybody was walking through that choke, and walking in a choke against Varus, that the tendrils of corruption can spread to everywhere, or the Syndra that has just so much zoning control, meant that they didn't think about what their carries could do, only about their engage.
It seemed like shock and awe, but I think like you were saying, Cloud9 sees through it. It looks like you have all this stuff with a Senna ult coming across, but not much came of it.
Yeah, once the tendrils of corruption spread in that choke, you are done. That is a Varus with a Hurricane, and Immortals doesn't have vision here. We can see everything because we have the observer view, but it's only the Scryers that got popped now. The control ward is still on Cloud9's side. And look at this. Where is Apollo here? He's just joining the fight now. That's the first Q he hit. 2 members were already dead.
Alorum was so big to be the first one going down as well. Good true shot barrage, but the follow-up cannot fully be there. Nope. So Triforce Murmana, there it is. If Apollo can keep himself safe and in the back line, he will be able to dish out damage, but you're already up against almost 3 items. A Bloodthirster coming in next for King. If that's what he's actually going to finish it out as, and he just buy more Vamp Scepter for any reason. But it gives him a shield, it allows him to take hits from Insanity, barrels, things Gate can be putting in, so it makes sense.
Yeah, no one's buying much healing reduction yet. It's only Gate.
Exactly. Well, Gate and Alorum now, since they got that in there.
Okay.
Execution.
Baron is spotted, not from a trinket, but C9 knows with the movement that IMT has. It's that cheeky little ward in the top side of the Baron area.
Just dumps on him. Gate's going to be right inside the Cataclysm. Ults come through. Piercing arrow goes over the shoulder of Gate. They're trying to deliver the damage.
What?
It's all too early. That's going to be unleashed power as well onto him, but they did use a little bit too much. Insanity's able to take quite a bit of damage. Alorum now coming in to shred that armor as Zanori goes into a very dangerous spot. Immortals have had a long time to look at this fight and figure out what the priority targets are. Now C9 having a bit of the same chance as Palafox's blue buff continues to come up and bring those cooldowns around. In a very touch-and-go fight as both teams only lose 2 members.
I think for a second there, Gate thought, oh, they spared me. They've had enough killing me. But it was not. They were just trying to give away the kills back to the carries, which is
guys laughing their butts off.
Where's King? Where's he at? Look at him in the camera.
Him making a rush.
All right, let's see this again.
He's not local right now.
So they know Gate does not have flash. Boom!
I see you.
Yeah.
Basically that.
I like the stone plate proc, knowing that there's no one there. And the control ward there is a big deal from Cloud9. But now the turn, Pudge gets a little bit greedy here on this side with a really nice cast from Potluck to spread them out. But I'm tracking Apollo through this whole time. I want to see what he does, because some of these Qs I think could have been a little bit more influential. He has a ton of damage. If you hit that W, the Essence Flux, and Mystic Shot on Syndra, you're half HP.
All right, resetting once again, 9-3, but it seems like anybody can stand tall in these fights, even with 4K down on the side of Immortals. They are putting up quite a few punches, and they are not afraid to initiate. We've seen multiple times going in, and it seems better to have Alorum on the back side of that fight. While he entered a little late, it just seemed like his positioning, not in the center with Insanity, was much better, because he isn't exactly that tanky. The Death Dance is definitely going to help out a little bit more in that area. But a very in and out kind of fight favors Immortals here.
Yeah, he's not that built just yet. He's going to need the stone plate before he can really be the front guy that the team needs. It's a little bit tricky because you usually would think that the Gragas would do it, the jungler or the support, but those two are even squishier than you, so you have to really balance out when you engage, which is why we saw those engages with Urgot throwing himself into the fight, because no one else can.
Just looking at that 3 completed, it is a Bloodthirster now for King. He is sitting at pretty much 12,000 gold to the 9,200 of Apollo. We're going to get a fight here on the bot side, 3v1 versus Alorum. Can the team get anything else done while this is happening? And no, it's just too quick here coming from Immortals. Now they're going to be on to C9's Inori. Will they be able to take him down?
Oh, the one left.
Yes, the Mystic Shot comes through. Sniper from Apollo as they're able to get the trade back and forth. Slows things down a bit, but I would love to have my jungler coming up now as this Mountain Drake is here.
Huge kill onto the Jarvan. Now Fudge has a legit chance at stealing this, and Cloud9 need to rethink their plan around this dragon because it is soul, but you don't have a smite.
I think they can hold out for 20 seconds. It already looks like they want to get Insanity popped in that stopwatch. They're going to go back to the fight as they get his flash. The 4v4, and they feel like they actually don't have enough to work through the choke points. I think that's a big thing that Cloud9's able to work in this big area. They always have to funnel through on the side of Immortals to make something happen, and that's perfect for an Aatrox. Teleport now coming in on the top side. That's going to be Aloran back into the fight now, and he may get a push onto mid lane as Immortals already have that. If nothing, that's going to be Cloud Soul over to Cloud9, and they waited for Inori to get back. 24 seconds. That was great.
Yeah, good patience out of them, and holding the chokes as well, not letting the Ezreal or the Senna have any room to get that poke. They barely even popped the Banshees out of Palafox. It gave them so much confidence. Now they're going for this, knowing that there's no smite, and I'm pretty sure IMT can't even fight it.
Apollo's looking for a true shot barrage. He's thinking, what timing could it be? Maybe one possible ward would allow me this advantage to see into the future. But no, it won't. Nobody's even going to be attacking over the wall to give them the vision. They are going to, however, be fighting Diamond. 3,300 on the Baron. It's going to take a bit longer to take it down. Insanity looking over the wall. What a kill! The true shot barrage was so close. But Inori is able to get a great smite down. The follow-up fight chain of corruption is now starting to spread across the team as Insanity is in the middle of the fight. But it's Inori into the back line with a cataclysm that could change the way this one is going as Aloran falls. A double kill coming in for Palafox. Gate and Potluck are now running for the hills as the World Ender is right on their tail.
That turn from Cloud9 was so good. Jarvan actually finds the Ezreal. Senna's it again.
Oh my god, that's ridiculous. The last Harbinger strike as well to add a little bit to boot. And he gets the dance off inside their base. Look at Gates loving it. He's laughing his ass off. They're going to be taking down the first inhibitor turret in favor of Cloud9, and Immortals' base is turning to shambles. Will they stop?
They will not. They won't stop until the Nexus is exploded, and they're gonna get it. There's not enough time for Immortals to come back and defend their Nexus.
That was definitely a fun game. A lot of fighting back and forth. Cloud9 able to come up with much more kills towards the end of that one at 15-4, and they will take down Immortals.
They were in control from start to finish, and I have to praise the bottom lane. Diamond finding the first kill onto Gate, and that set the entire pace of the game. Immortals could not find a way back with a bottom lane that was so far behind.
Playing strong, and Nori trying to get everybody up and in. See, you can see how kind of loose that game was all around. Immortals was having a fun time. C9 was having a fun time. It definitely seemed like a great time on the Rifts. It takes a little bit to get everybody collected. King there in spirit with a high five, playing from afar, as he will have to until he is here with the team.
That's all we can wish for. You know, sometimes we see those players or fans that want just everybody to have a good game, and this felt like one of those. Smiles all around.
Did King get snuffed? I think that's what we saw.
Did he?
I'm not sure.
Denied? No.
I don't think so.
These guys are nice people. There's no beef.
Nori heading over the caboose on this one. The Diamond in the front. And they are a very happy Cloud9 as they move themselves now to 6-4. Still tied up now with Immortals in the standings, who were just ahead of them at that record of 6-3. So good stuff to see from all the teams surrounding the bend that had win streaks. Are kind of keeping those. Immortals is now on an 0-2. But they're still looking good towards the beginning of the season. They just have to figure out what really was fine in the Nexus in those instances.
Yeah. Now that we got a pretty tight race with Dignitas taking 2 losses, it feels like the Academy circuit has really just been tossed upside down.
I'm excited. Here's the draft for the game as we look at it. So a bit of the top lane, a lot of the top lane focus from Immortals. And then they said, hey, wanted a Nori and support. And again, we usually see the Soraka and Yuumi on the left.
Most interesting, the Tahm Kench first pick. These teams are just saying we want what we work best with. It's not about what's best in the meta. It's about what they're really capable of showing. It was the Tahm Kench here. It was the Zoe earlier. So a lot of diversity in fearlessness out of these players, trusting that their comp gets the job done.
I love that, kind of like Tom and Braum in the bot lane kind of thing. Hey, yeah, Ryan, I didn't mean to. But having a champion that, one, you can get that slow on with something, but then your autos are so impactful as well. No matter what, you're still stacking a passive of something, I think makes them so formidable. Now, as we look into some of these replays, the momentum built early here by the side of Cloud9 was just what you were talking about before, that if Diamond could find this one, because you flashed and you missed this lick that could hit the kill, and you kind of fall away and the fight goes the other way.
Yeah, that momentum started as early as you wanted, and this is another fight that was the aftermath of an engagement for Dragon. Getting that pick onto the Senna seemed to be a lot of what Cloud9 was banking on. Just pick on the immobile support and get yourself a really nice gold lead.
Played well in that one. I don't think it worked out that I kind of compared him to Ika coming into this one, and then he didn't have a great game. You got to fight for me on that one, brother. But it's okay. It's okay. It is 2 different leagues, but it is good to see that, you know, he was able to put up a fight today. Fight at Dragon here, resulting in a 3-for-0 for Cloud9, and this is one of the big ones.
This is in Potluck and Alarim doing their thing, going crazy for it, but Ezreal is still not here. By the time he throws out his first spell, 2 members are already dead.
It happened so quick. And you don't expect an Urgot to go down that fast, right?
No, right? He has Death Dance at this point. You think he's going to be so tanky, but Varus is a tank killer. He's got the Blade of the Ruined King for percent damage. He has his W with the procs of the Blighted Quiver. You are going to get shredded.
It did hurt, man. We saw it hurt. We'll check out the final fight as well. The final hurt put in from Cloud9, and Diamond was here to just kind of say, I'm going to absorb as much as I can, and almost stolen. What an attempt.
Yeah, let's see how close it was. 344, so a bit of a low smite there from Inori, but still gets the job done, and then still finds an amazing engage to knock up onto the Ezreal into an ultimate that is a Jarvan dream. It is so difficult to catch out that carry, but when you do, you just hope your team gives you a GG right after.
I get a lot of props to Hard this game for going in on the Flag and Drag Cataclysms. Just seeing a few members and saying, you know what, 2 is better than none, 1's better than none, just hitting them over and over, really having a big impact on the game. So, I'm sorry, Inori, I said Hard. Good Lord. Inori.
I got it.
In. Thank you. Well, I want them to know, and I want to give the credit. As we wrap up the day, let's see how the team stacked up. Check this out. Dignitas, as we said, take that second loss, but they're still going to stand tall at 8 wins. 6 is the next one right behind them with Cloud9, Immortals, and Golden Guardians. A pack of 5s with 100 Thieves, Evil Geniuses, TSM. And you can see FlyQuest and Team Liquid finding a few of those games, as we will see if CLG can right the ship here coming around the second half.
Yeah, how great. We actually just got to see all the top 5 teams play today.
It's true.
Right? How often does that happen?
That was great. That's my answer. That's great. So Academy Games return on Friday with a whole host of games. Check them out. Which one are you excited about?
Ooh, I think that it's got to be Cloud9 Academy. Wait, no, we just had that. Today's Monday Night League game. Team Liquid against Dignitas. We just saw the main teams play, and there's a big question if Team Liquid is doom and gloom or if Broxa can get their lineup together, and I think you got to put all eyes on them. They're back-to-back-to-back champions.
Scary stuff to see, Crumbs. Who would ever have thought, right?
Right.
Was it Alex Smithy?
Such a
Immortals
fall
are
from
winning.
grace.
What happened?
More Smithy than we thought. I'll say that.
Okay, maybe, absolutely. Hop on over to LCS Twitch channel for Monday Night League, where things kick off with Team Liquid versus Dignitas, then TSM versus Evil Geniuses shortly after that. Then it's going to be the Bud Light League Lounge, where Offline TV, Skara, Fed, and Yvonne join myself and Avali. Now for myself and the casters and the entire live broadcast crew, thanks for watching. We'll see you over on the LCS channel for Monday Night League.